Today's message that I really wanted to share with you guys is that you can always come back home to yourself. It is never too late to love yourself, to accept yourself, to forgive yourself. No matter how far you might have drifted from yourself, from who you truly are, no matter how many mistakes that you make, no matter if you people please, no matter if you are in the process of unlearning people pleasing and you kind of, like seesaw in and out of that, if you still choose other people in hopes that they choose you, no matter what habits and patterns that you have even recognized or maybe even might be subconscious to you that you fall into or that you display from your own pain and your own wounds and your own desire to have this void filled, to be nurtured and to be loved and to be chosen. It is never too late for you to choose yourself and to love yourself. And I've shared this message back in like spring or summer of 2024 on my TikTok a while ago, but yesterday this message came up to me again while I was reflecting on potentially recognizing where I might be falling back into a pattern and recognizing where my inner child feels betrayed and deeply hurt by my mother, and falling back into these patterns of shoving that pain and that hurt and that from betrayal that I've experienced under the rug, and feeling scared, feeling like the other shoe is gonna drop while being on her good side and on edge on when I'm going to experience her bad side again. In that moment, I was catching myself finding how I was blaming myself, how the situation was my fault. And in that moment, I came home to myself. I held myself with love and nurturing and validated the pain and the betrayal that I have felt, that it is extremely valid for me to not trust her in moments where there are opportunities for us to experience that love and that validation from people who we want it from. When we look outside of ourselves for people to fill that need so we don't have to, it is easy to take advantage of that. It is easy to look outside of yourself for that. But in that moment, like I said, I chose to come home to myself and to validate that part of myself, to love and accept that part of myself that feels deeply hurt and betrayed and is tired of pretending like everything is okay when it's not, pretending like I feel okay when I'm not, and honoring myself for being honest and vulnerable with my family, especially with my mom, about how I feel, how I'm not okay, and accepting that regardless of how she feels, how she responds, how she reacts, if she changes or not, that is out of my control. But all I can control is expressing myself and being vulnerable and being true to how I feel and who I am, and walking away from people and patterns that don't serve me. And when we become consciously aware of these patterns and these habits of people pleasing and chasing external validation and putting people's needs over our own and neglecting our own needs, when you become aware of that, sometimes the ego can hijack that and make you a target for your own shame and blame and guilt. And shame and guilt are definitely not inherently bad feelings to have. They are definitely indications of when you do something wrong that goes against your morals, or when you want to do something differently for your health, your well-being, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Falling back into patterns and habits that have kept you safe, that are familiar, is a part of the process. It is a part of becoming more aware and choosing yourself. All of these moments when you do not choose yourself, when you choose other people over yourself, those are moments where you can come back home to yourself. When you switch your mindset from these mistakes, quote unquote, and these slip ups as indications that you're not healing, or that you're doing terrible, or that it's not possible for you, switch your mindset into seeing these opportunities as opportunities for you to come back home to yourself. It is completely natural and normal when you are in a healing journey and you are healing patterns and habits and mindsets that you have operated from for majority of your life to keep yourself safe, when you have been raised in an environment that you were rejected for being yourself, for being authentic, for speaking your truth. Your ego, your inner child, your nervous system has adapted to shrinking yourself down. And when you are in the process of letting go of shrinking yourself down, it is completely natural and normal to default to the defense mechanisms and the protective mechanisms, to keeping yourself small, to chasing outside of yourself for external validation so you can have your needs met. And being able to honor these habits that no longer serve you and that you are unlearning and that you are in the process of letting go because they did serve its purpose, that your contract with these people, places, and things, habits, and mindsets did exactly what it was supposed to do. And now you might be in the process of grieving and letting it go. It is important to honor it and to give gratitude to those parts of yourself that have kept you safe and have brought you where you are right now. And no matter how much, like I said, you mess up or make a mistake or you fall back into that, those are moments where you can come back home to yourself. Because trust me, you are better off having gratitude and compassion towards yourself for when you do fall back into that, instead of being harsh on yourself. And that is easier said than done, because all of this is a process. All of it is a process that we learn and we trial and error with. And it is such a beautiful message, and it's so comforting and so peaceful knowing that you can always come back home to yourself no matter how far you think that you fucked up. I just got done meditating. I had a short little meditation, and I love meditating, but sometimes when I postpone meditating, or I'm not super consistent with it and I do end up meditating, I remember how much I thoroughly enjoy meditating. And I went into my meditation feeling anxious and just a swelling of anxiety in my chest. And when I feel anxious, I want to go on my phone, I want to scroll, I feel very urgent and very panicked. And in those moments when I meditate and I allow myself to feel that urgency and that panic and that anxiety, it really helps me feel grounded and feel at peace. And it really, like I said, it's so beautiful because there's this sense of stillness that is cultivated within me while I am practicing, breathing techniques, and allowing that anxiety to just be and exist, and breathing into it and just allowing it to be without trying to change it or distract myself. Meditation is such a beautiful practice that I thoroughly enjoy, that thoroughly helps me come home to myself. It helps me remember that just because I feel anxious, the urgency, that anxiety, and the fear that manifests from feeling this way is really just in the mind. And when you allow yourself the space to be still while observing the anxiety, while observing the fear, while observing the thoughts that are trying to get you to rush and to focus and to go and to produce and to create, all of that kind of just seems less significant, less urgent. And while meditating, while feeling this way, is kind of just letting your mind and your body know that it is okay to feel this way and to not immediately react to it. and to take action on the feeling and the sense of urgency all of the time. It's a reminder for ourselves that there's really nowhere that we have to be. There's nothing that we really have to do. There's nobody that we have to be. There's nothing that we really have to consume. And there's so much beauty in presence and stillness that I'm always reminded of when I meditate. And it's fucking beautiful. And it's so peaceful, just really feeling that in myself. Remembering that no matter how intense everything feels and seems, that there's always a trick up my sleeve that I can pull out when I just want to calm down. Coming back home to myself in that way, or in different ways that I've learned throughout my experience and my journey within loving and nurturing and radically accepting myself and all parts of myself, has been truly so freeing. And it's a type of peaceful that you can forget easily. It's always going to be there in the back of your mind when you are ready to go towards it again. It's like your intuition doesn't scream at you, but it's always going to be something in the back of your mind that you can take it or leave it. And sometimes when I do feel chaotic, feeling chaotic is an indication to slow down and to retreat within yourself. And always knowing that you will always have yourself, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life. You can always rely and count on yourself and come back home to yourself is seriously one of the most comforting things and the most comforting messages that I've ever received. And I really hope that it brings some sense of comfort to whoever is watching this, whoever has felt called to watch and receive this video. And I love you guys so much. My channel has been growing and I love to see it. I'm genuinely so grateful that people are resonating with my messages, are resonating with me, and I'm just so grateful for this community that I am building. And if you guys have any stories or anything that you want to share in the comments, I would love to read them. And I just hope you guys take care of yourself. Please stay safe out here. I love you guys. Have a good night or have a good day, whatever time of the day it is for you. Bye.